Good afternoon, everybody. It's the Shaolin Phantom representing ForDaIsland, and today we're celebrating the 5th anniversary of the ForDaIsland movement, the brand, the page, whatever you want to call it, because that doesn't matter as long as we're reaching a goal of putting on a lot of Staten Island music, a lot of Staten Island artists, um, whether it's hip hop predominantly, even rock, house music, even country music. I really want to see some of that out there. And I really want to thank all of you as artists, as individuals, as fans, for really following the movement and really being out there and supporting us and helping us reach our goal out here. So I really want to take the time to really reflect on what we've done over the past 5 years since we started the page back in April 26th of 2020. And it all started initially with just the SoundCloud page where I'll just repost Staten Island music that I really enjoyed and saw some value in listening to. And then, just a couple months later, I believe we started the page where we made that first post on April 26th during the pandemic with a little screenshot of a little like turquoise colored map of Staten Island. And I said, this is the movement. This is ForDaIsland. We're going to be putting on Staten Island music, and we're bigger than the Wu-Tang Clan, we're bigger than the Force UMDs, and we're really gonna be more than that. And even guys like Squid Nice, who had a little bit of a moment with songs like Trapped by My Lonely, and I think we could be bigger than that. We could really have a legacy in Staten Island. So I really want to thank you all for that. Throughout the years, we had a lot of moments, especially a lot of things that made me progress, such as attending my first event with that invite from C434. Shout out to him. I got to meet a lot of artists, and I know later that night somebody DM'd me and they were like, I appreciate that you reposted my music on SoundCloud because I remember you from those days, and that really warmed me up on the inside. And from that point on, I wanted to do interviews. I remember meeting Dave Noodles. Shout out to him, and he was like, I'm gonna give you a mic. There's like no excuse to not do interviews. Like, I felt like that's what he meant when he gave this mic, and that's why there's no ForDaIsland sticker logo on this microphone. It's a Stereotype Co mic because this is a permanent collaboration, a permanent partnership. Shout out to Staten Co. I still gotta buy that defund Easy Pass shirt. I think I'm about to order that too. I have the beanie, I have the shirt from his birthday celebration for 40 years of life, pretty much. So, shout out to Dave Noodles. Shout out to C434 and Tyrone Briggs for that hospitality when I attended my first event at Hub 17. And to this day, I still attend most of my events at Hub 17. But I think one of the most pivotal events that I attended was probably the Delgado's Fest, because I saw what Eddie I was doing year after year, and he really brings in a lot of artists. And I did a lot of my interviews at those events, and I missed the last year's event, and I'm still putting out those interviews that I didn't get to put out back from 2023. But watch the Tyrone Briggs interview, watch the Mix 718 interview from the Hit the Beat event, because Hit the Beat is also doing this thing, really doing artist showcase. So shout out to him as well. Watch that interview, and then watch the interview I did at the Reflex Cypher with Chris Cartel, because that Reflex Cypher recently brought out a lot of competitive nature. You have C Black or Richie HYB, whatever he goes by now, going at it with BMC Smooth and all the envy because Handsome High got the belt. You know what? Next time, I want to see y'all at the event, because if I don't see y'all at the event, I lost all respect for y'all as artists, and I mean that honestly, because we can't just be going back and forth, dropping diss tracks. But I appreciate. But honestly, it gave me a lot of it gave us a lot of good music, at least, and that's ultimately what matters to me. But then from that point on, Memorial Day weekend of May 2023, Life in Session, hosted by the Life brand, Danny Life, did an interview with him there. BMC Smooth, Starter before he left for Thailand. We need him to come back and bring some of that Thailand sauce to Staten Island. You can't be out there forever. I hope you come back, honestly. But, all these artists, Cortez and then Billy B. When I was encouraged to interview her by the guy behind Staten Island Artists and BMC Smooth, and AR Yum came together, he's like, I'm going to edit that for you. And I put that video out. Like, it really meant a lot to me. There was a lot of encouragement for that, and I'm just disappointed that one of the biggest artists that I interviewed got the least amount of views, which is ironic, but it's all good. Just go back and watch it. We got 100 views. Let's get more views out there. And that really means, and that's really gonna mean a lot. And a lot of songs that still have a lot of impact to me. I'd say Only Light, which I heard at a Hub 17 event by Spade. Happy Birthday by Jay Quick. We use that for every time we celebrate an anniversary or a birthday. By Jay Quick. Big Steppers by Frank Diddy. Don't mess with that song. Heavy. No Sleep by Bayani, and produced by Saint Thriller. Man, that song got me through that year and a half where I had to be away from running for the island from like August of 2023 all the way up to like the end of last year when I was working on my professional career, which really paid off. But I remember like all the sleepless nights, just being away from doing what I love and just doing overtime, just being focused. That song still sticks to me to this day. But more recently, when I heard, after interviewing Intel from the Second Generation Wu, and I went back and listened to The Curator, the opening of that song, just the energy, the passion of that song when he says, like, you just gotta listen to the song, because honestly, that song, I think that is the best, or one of the best Staten Island songs ever released. It's so timeless. God, you just gotta listen to it, and it just really means a lot to me, and I can't go off enough. And I gotta really shout out to the Second Generation Wu. I think that event, when I was invited to the premiere of season 2 of MTV Family Legacy recently, and all those MTV people were there. I didn't network with them because I really don't honestly care, but just being invited to that event, and the fact that Intel invited me there and I was able to interview Shy, the daughter of Method Man, and Intel's the son of You God, and then you have Power, the son of Method Man, and Supreme, the son of Ghostface Killer, and Nuclear Flare. I didn't get to interview him, but Nuclear Flare had all these, all the progeny of the Wu-Tang Clan, and and they're paving their own path, and I'm really proud of them that they don't rely on the fact that, even though their name is Second Generation Wu, they want to get out of that shadow that the Wu-Tang Clan created. They want to continue that legacy. So, and watching those interviews they had with MTV, speaking about their relationship with their parents and like the impact they had on them, and just what it feels like to be the son or daughter of a Wu-Tang Clan member is just amazing. And being at that event, like, really just it really felt like an honor to be there. Like, I can't express that enough. Like, I thought that Memorial Day weekend event where I got to interview, like, really be a bunch of other people, and really had a bunch of funny memes that came out of that event. Like AR Young's singing into a palm tree. Like, I thought that was like one of my happiest moments. As the individual running for the island, like, I think we're gonna have more moments. We're really gonna have more moments as we go on, and and then Pat Lags DJing for like the G4 boys, Yasin doing his thing, with the Wu-Tang Clan. You know, he had that Bikini Wax record with Ghostface Killer, and then Chucky Hollywood has a record with Jadakiss. Um, you know, and I really wonder when Method Man is gonna drop his next Meth Lab record, because he had like JoJo Pellegrino, Eddie I on his records, Elaine Crystal, I believe. You know, I hope Method Man keeps doing those Meth Lab records, and really, you know, he really puts on more for the island than I ever could. Like, you know, he did collaborations with artists such as Pat Dukes, I believe. Like I really appreciate that Method Man does that, you know, like does that kind of thing. And just to kind of go over like the Q&A portion of this thank you video, the only person that responded to my story was Staten Island Artist, who's I guess my competitor, my peer, in running a page that puts on Staten Island Artist. He said, "You my dog, even though you try to fight with me, we never fight, but if you, I'll challenge you to a one-on-one rap battle, man. Who's a better page? Because you got me a larger following. You got more vision. You do this because it's more of a career for you than it is for me. But there's no animosity. Know that. Maybe we disagree on things. Maybe I procrastinate, but we're human. I appreciate you too, and you're one of the only people out here I respect. I respect you because we started doing this, you know, for the island stuff and Staten Island Artist stuff around the same time, and you're the only one that stuck through it. We had, you know, like these other pages, I don't even remember the names, but they all like fell off. They stopped posting. They gave up. And maybe Staten Island Drill, like he still does it, but he'll charge like $5 for a repost and stuff. But he's the only one I respect, because I think like 2 years later he's still the only one representing. You know, all these other pages came up, left, disappeared. You know, life happens. I had to step away from this shit too, but it's like we're really the only ones that put on. You know, if I fall off, you're the only one. If you fall off, I got like a monopoly on this, and I'm not here for the money. You know, I do this for the passion. I love, you know, all the music I get put onto. It's like, and my goal is to eventually really not really listen as much mainstream music. Like I want to listen to more underground music, and that's what I've been doing. So I love that. And one thing I'm gonna say as a closing comment, really, you know, all this coasty debating that you guys are doing, you know, who's the king of Staten Island, you know, BMC Smooth, I appreciate that you started that conversation, but, yo, Wu-Tang Clan is still coasty until they're like Congress, they're the council, until we have you guys eclipse that level of legacy. So really, coasty is the Wu-Tang Clan, you know, Method Man, you guys, Ghostface Killer, Raekwon the Chef. Those guys are the true coasty. You know, so C Black, BMC Smooth, I was hopped on that, like, yeah, Emoji, all you guys that hopped on talking that game, you know, we got a long way to go before you guys call yourselves the king of Staten Island. Because as of this year, or as of last year, we had, you know, Pete Davidson drop a movie called The King of Staten Island. So I don't see you guys having a movie yet. But I'm saying that because I want to light that fire underneath y'all asses to really prove everybody wrong, prove me wrong at the end of the day. So shout out to everybody, you know, even with my attire, you know, Boy Thunder apparel, this is Staten Island based brand, very tight code, and that's what it is, you know. Let's have a good 2020, rest of the 2025 year, 2026, and so on, you know. We keep dropping episodes of Shaolin Cribs. So thank you guys, peace, and kiss the ring, man. We out.